Welcome to Unpacking Brain Drama. I am Pratiti Pathak, and I am your host and guide on this amazing journey that we call life and self discovery, living with intention. And here we are for another episode of Unpacking Brain Drama. Sorry for the echo, guys. Good morning. Today, I'm just excited because I think I'm going to be talking about something that really is going to resonate with so many of you. Um, I know for me, most of the things that I talk about are things that absolutely resonate with me for sure. And I always try to pick things that I think that it's something that we can all relate to. And I think this is one of those topics. So today I'm going to talk about release. That was my word for last year, actually, in 2025, was just release, because I knew that I was walking around with a lot of heaviness. And as you guys know, there was a lot of heaviness going on last year, all the way up until just this past week. And it was my son's 17-year anniversary. So it was wanting to just release the heaviness. But today I'm going to talk about it a little bit differently. And it's like release or relive, right? I want you to either think about, do we release it or we do relive it, right? I want us to stop replaying it over and over and learn how to let go of some things that may keep us stuck, right? So today we're going to dive right into that. And I think this is going to hit home for a lot of you guys, because whether you realize it or not, you are on a regular basis either releasing things that happened in our past or we're reliving it, right? And most people, they're not even consciously choosing either one, right? They're just replaying, right? It's like this unconscious loop sometimes that is running in the background and draining our battery, and we don't even know it. I mean, have you guys ever noticed this? You think you've moved on from something, a conversation, a relationship, or just even a moment, that you've experienced. And maybe it was just this embarrassing moment, right? Um, and then out of nowhere, you feel it again. Same emotion, same reaction, same internal dialogue starts happening, right? And it's almost like your mind hit the play button on something you didn't even choose to watch, right? You're like, wait a minute, I wasn't trying to watch anything. And I want you guys to know it's not random. That's the pattern. That's what I call living on autopilot, not because something is wrong with us or with you or with me, but because it's something that was never fully processed. Okay. So instead of it being completed, it gets repeated. Can I say that again? Instead of it being completed because we haven't fully processed it, it just gets repeated, right? So why do we keep replaying it? Here's the truth most people don't realize. Your brain is, it's weird. It's wired for familiarity. I say that a lot. It's not wired for freedom. It's not wired for growth. If something felt intense, emotionally, or meaningful, your system tags it as important. Not because it really, really is important, but it puts a little tag there like, hey, this meant something, right? And then we end up just reliving, replaying, and hitting that play button over and over, and we don't even realize it, right? So um, your brain, your body, once it tags it as something important, um, anything that feels even remotely similar to that thing that's been tagged in the future, anytime anything similar to that comes up again, it literally pulls from that tag and pulls up the same response, right? Not because it's accurate, not because it's serving us in some really great way, but it's because it's practiced. So now you're not reacting to what is happening. You're reacting to something that reminds you of this from another time. And that's where we tend to get stuck, right? Because we tend to think, oh, this keeps happening to me. But what's actually happening is it keep replaying the same internal experience. So let's just say you're in a group of people and somebody says something or calls you out on something and you feel a little embarrassed or you feel like outed in some way, right? So the next time you're in a group and if this was something you played over and over and over and it really affected you, the next time anybody says anything remotely close to it, you're going to pull from that last experience. So when you don't release emotional energy, I want you to understand what is the cost of holding on to it. You don't just have it, you carry it with you. And when you carry it with you, it shows up as overreaction that doesn't necessarily match that exact moment again. Emotional exhaustion that you can't explain because it's that background loop that's going that is draining your battery and it causes emotional exhaustion because you're not even consciously aware of it. So thoughts that spiral faster than you can even catch up to them, relationships that feel like deja vu, right? It's heavy. And not because life is too much for you, but because you're holding on to more than you need to. Sometimes I talk about this, I say it a lot when I'm out and about. Sometimes we are carrying around this heavy purse, is how it was said to me once, and it just stuck for me. And we don't realize we can just put that purse down. We don't have to carry this heavy bag around. We can just release it versus reliving it. So let's simplify this. Every emotional experience has two paths, right? There's two options. We can either release it. So we had this emotional experience, we can just let that go, or we can relive it and retell it over and over. And that's basically what rumination is, right? We're ruminating about something. When I talk about the action line in the formula, the cognitive formula, I am talking about things that you do or don't do physically and also mentally. So a lot of times what we do is mental work. It's reliving it. It's ruminating about it. If you've ever had a conversation that didn't go the way that you thought it should or that you wanted it to, you may play that conversation over and over in your mind and restate how it should have gone in your mind. And that's called ruminating about it. That's reliving it. And releasing it doesn't mean forgetting about it. It doesn't mean that you approved of whatever the thing was, or even pretending that it didn't matter, right? It means you allow it to move through you instead of live with you. Reliving it looks like replaying conversations in your head over and over, reacting from old wounds that don't currently exist, carrying emotions into situations that don't belong there. Did you ever have an ex-partner, right? An ex-spouse, an ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, and maybe they lied or cheated or did something that was the cause of the breakup. And then you go into another relationship. Did you ever find yourself reliving the same experiences over and over, no matter which relationship you're in? It's because the moment that anything even similar looks like that, you're going to react to it the same way. And internally, you're telling yourself, see, this just keeps happening. And maybe that's true, and maybe it's not. Maybe it's what you're bringing to the situation that has it reoccurring over and over. We carry emotions into a situation where it doesn't belong, and that is the truth. Okay, you can't create a new experience from an old emotional state. So, how do you stop re-looping, right? How do you stop replaying? How do you stop spinning in the background? Let's talk about what to actually do. All right. Because awareness, as we all know, is very powerful and it is always the first step. But action is what creates the change. Okay. So first the awareness, okay? But the action is what creates the change, okay? So you have to first become aware in order to catch the loop. Start noticing where you're ruminating, where you're replaying, retelling, reliving something. Again, not by judging it, not by trying to fix it, just notice. I've been there before. Oh, that's the awareness. I know that it sounded like I just said that because I have said that over and over and over, many, 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 many times, right? I've been here before. This seems familiar. What about it is familiar? That alone interrupts the autopilot and reduces the power that it has over me. Okay. So first we have to separate the past from the present. So ask yourself a powerful question. What is actually happening right now versus what does this remind me of? That's huge. This one distinction is huge because most of the time you're not responding to something in the present moment. You're most likely responding to a memory, a meaning, a story that you gave another experience at another time. So we want to let the emotion move, right? Because right now it might just be stuck. Instead of trying to think your way out of it, let yourself feel it, label it. I always say, in order to sit with an emotion, first we want to say, oh, this is jealousy. This is shame. This is embarrassment. Whatever that is, this is lonely. Whatever that is, label it, sit with it without resistance. Don't be like, oh, I want to get rid of this. No, we don't want to sit with that. We want to sit and feel it. Okay. And just let it be and say, label it over and over. This is embarrassment. This is embarrassment, or this is jealousy. This is jealousy. This is jealousy. We don't have to do it forever. Okay. We don't have to do it in a dramatic way. Okay. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be like, I got to do this forever. It just has to be intentional. Do it intentionally because what you allow moves. Describe it. Sit with it. And where is it in my body? Where am I feeling this? What does it feel like? Does it feel like butterflies in my stomach? Does it feel like gurgling? Do I feel it heavy in my chest? Is my heart racing? Does it feel hard and stiff? Does it have jagged edges? What color is it? Because what you allow yourself to feel, describe, label, that is what will allow it to move and start getting some movement. Sometimes, I mean, stuck, there's a reason why we say we feel stuck. Because for me, I don't know about you, stuck could feel like a big lump in my throat that won't move. Stuck could feel like a lump in my stomach. Stuck could feel like just like jagged pins and needles all over me. But once I start to describe it, that's when it starts to get some movement and it starts to flow. And when it starts to flow, it starts to flow right out of me. But when you resist it, it stays. Okay. So next time you're feeling something, I want you to sit with it. I want you to say what it is out loud, label it. And if anybody wants a cheat sheet, that will just expand your vocabulary around your emotions so that you can really describe something in more depth than just happy, sad, angry. Maybe it's something so different, right? Maybe it's disconnected, right? What you resist stays. So you want to redirect, okay, with intention. That's when we bring the power back to us. Right now, we're back in our power. So ask yourself, how do I want to show up here? This is what's actually happening. And I'm bringing up an emotion from something that happened in the past. So how do I want to show up here? How do I want to show up now? What would I choose if I was being intentional? Right? What would the intentional version of me choose? This is where you shift from reaction to creation. Okay, this is where we create versus react, right? This is where we go from default to design. Okay, this is how we get unstuck. So, Trailblazers, you don't get stuck because life is hard. Okay, you get stuck because your system, this system, brain body system, keeps replaying what it already knows. Not because it wants to create anything negative. It just is going to go to what's familiar, what it already knows. And the way out is not to force yourself out or to force yourself to be like, oh, no, just think positive thoughts, just think positive thoughts. That's not what we're doing. And we're definitely not going, just get over it, just get over it, just move on. We're definitely not doing that either. It's not trying to force yourself to be positive or get over it or move on. It's just becoming aware, right? Taking ownership and then moving into intentional, allowing the experience and then releasing the energy that is being created from that experience and then choosing to be intentional from there. That's how you break that loop, that spinning, right? That's what we call it. So today I want to leave you with this. What are you still replaying? Think about different experiences. Think about a conversation that you won't let go of. Think about a relationship that you won't let go of, even if it's been, I mean, for some of us, we've been out of a certain relationship for a pretty significant amount of time, and yet we're still replaying things in our head. I know this happens to me throughout time. Like literally, even when I've left a job, I when my aerospace company closed and I was out of that job, I was out of that building. I mean, I remember dreaming even of being at work with my colleagues and just nothing crazy, just normal, like, hey, I'm at work. And it clearly was on my mind to the point where I was dreaming about it at night. So if there's things that you dream about at night, just know that you are subconsciously, unconsciously thinking about it. Your subconscious brain is thinking about it to the point where it's reliving it. I want you to really let that sink in because it's huge. So I want to leave you with this. What am I still replaying that I'm ready to let go of, that I'm ready to release? And what would your life feel like if you weren't carrying that into the next moment, into the next experience, right? What if you let go of, what if you released that relationship so that you don't take it into the next? And if this episode resonated with you, or for a lot of us, sometimes somebody just pops into our head like, oh, this person really needs this. Share it with that person who might need it. and share it always with yourself. Rewatch it, re-listen to it. And as always, we are not here by any means whatsoever to live on autopilot. We are here to create our lives, results, create our life experiences, and create our results by design, not by default. Until next week, guys, I have to say, I'm not sure, but I will have to post in all the different areas what time I'm going to start going live, because I know my schedule is becoming a little booked up and jammed. So I want to make sure that I'm always having the right amount of time for you, and always want to be able to spend the right amount of time with you guys without rushing through it. So Trailblazers, until next week, I love you guys and live your lives by design.